Start off by saying thank you for everybody who has stayed around long enough. Very grateful for that. I'm hoping you're all enjoying yourself. I know I have. I'm sorry it's gone that long. Roommate just got home, wanted to go say hi, just make sure everything was fine. Bit of a rough day for them. I might hop in and say hi. But yeah. So I should probably start off by muting. I'm not looking to make fun. If I joke, it's a joke. I just want to make it clear. I don't exactly have the answers for the universe and the cosmos myself, and I have pretty strange beliefs. I want to make it clear. I said a lot of them earlier. I'm going to state some of them now. I believe there are giants on this earth still. Do I believe they are in cryostasis? No. I believe it's just their corpses, their bodies. And that kind of saddens me. I believe there is DNA left within us of giants. That is why we have people who are so tall sometimes. I believe that might be what's happening. There are tales, specifically within the Bible, I'm referring to myself, where giants had 6 toes and 6 fingers. I forget what it's called, but it's yeah, don't make fun of anybody for their ideals. It's okay to make jokes, but don't attack anyone. And criticism is okay. I mean, you can criticize me. I got criticized for my name. That's fine. But at the same time, I want to start. Maybe I want to start on the fringe. That's what I'm going to do. That's normally what I do. That's how I started with the giants. I'm just like giants into aliens. And I started there, and then I eventually got to more believable, more realistic ideas, like the skeletons of giants, the Tuatha. No, wait, that's the Irish gods. Oh crap! What were they called? What were they called now? Siteka. Yeah, Paiute oral history. Siteka were giants. See, I hit the button. It doesn't do. So I do apologize if it's going into your ear. I'm trying. I have a button. I'm using it. So, how the sun and moon work over the flat Earth model.
Hey guys, Rob Skiba here with another testingtheglobe.com short video. So, if you've been following like some of my other...
So, from what I understand, there are experiments you can do looking through like a hole and another hole. You can gauge like where the thing is, the curvature of the Earth. I mean, there's also the Egyptian mathematician. I think it was an Egyptian mathematician who, by looking, it was either an Egyptian or a Greek, looking down wells, moving as he was going along. He was able to tell that the Earth was round because the angle of the sun or something like that.
Other videos have been showing how I believe the sun and moon work over the flat Earth model, and taking advantage of the fact that the atmosphere is full of moisture and that it is acting like a lens. I've done a number of videos, and one of the questions that has come up a number of times...
Oh, wait, no, I was reading... I saw something about that earlier. I was looking for some sort of footage. So, the Earth with and without an atmosphere. The only reason our Earth, because I guess spheres, round droplets of water or something, because I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't get a chance to. It was right before I started the stream. But on our flat Earth, our moisture particles... My mic was off, sorry. So I'll explain, sorry. I'll start over. Because he didn't show us the curve of the table, what if the table is bent ever so much that, for those who know what a moonshot is, by like 1 degree off, you can miss the moon entirely, right? What if there's enough of a curvature here that as he's backing up that light, all he's doing is, because it kind of does, like, first off, not every house is level, not every table is level. He didn't show us his table was level. I can't even guarantee that it would even make a difference, because maybe it's because I don't understand chaos theory at all, but maybe there's just enough of a curvature where he is, no matter what, he cannot get it to do the angle right because of how long this table is. This table looks like it can fit 4 of these normal looking, they kind of look like church chairs, which are like the width of my shoulders, right? They're for an average person. They're going to fit right within. So you're looking at like 4. That's a pretty long table because you got 3 chairs here and it looks like the table continues and it doesn't look like they're tightly packed. So if you were to tightly pack them, I'm sure you could fit 1 extra chair. So maybe and I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong here, but like I said, criticism is fine.
Taking place again. It's got the light. It made the sun set, first of all.
Yeah.
Below the horizon in this case.
But see, now he's talking about a horizon. Unfortunately, that's my only issue. Whereas believing in giants and aliens and angels and demons, dragons and all this stuff is a little easier. My problem with this one is like he just did there. He was a moment ago talking about, and that's why I said I like to find very specific videos so I can understand them better. This one helps because he does have a good experiment here, but he can't have a horizon, right? And maybe I'm just misunderstanding, and on a flat Earth, a horizon is when the sun is so far off in the distance, it looks like that. But then there's still some curvature. Now, of course, space-time, maybe there's always going to be some form of curvature in the planet because of mass. I'm sure mass still exists within a flat Earth. I'm sure all this stuff still does. I'm sure they have a way to explain all of it. Gravity has to be a fun one for them.
Case. And let's just show, this is just the iPhone view. I'm going to bring the cloud in here, and the platform represents the bottom of the clouds. So the sun's going down, and oop, there it is. The bottom of the clouds.
Again, if the table is curved, though, which we don't know for sure, it could just be still doing the same thing, because eventually you take that right off, and you get it past the curve and beyond, like, the hump, right? Like, if my hand is straight, and then you go like that, you get, like, the curve of the Earth, or the curve of the table, right?
Illuminated by a light source that's well above the clouds, moving parallel over a flat surface.
But the sun is well above the clouds.
So apparently it's possible for the sun to illuminate the bottom of the clouds even on the flat Earth model.
Well, see, no matter what, it's possible. God made, how does he put it in the Always Sunny? God made everything great or something like that. I forgot how he says it. So that wasn't too bad. My fault. I'm fighting with
celestial navigation.
I was looking over at the. I'm like, something's wrong, so I refreshed the stream
at the
just
horizon.
to see what was wrong with it. Turns out I hadn't switched over.
If you live on a globe,
so this is a sextant. You look through this little eyepiece thing here, adjusting angles and stuff like that. I don't know exactly. You need like a compass and all that too. And if you want to get it perfect, you also need like this little chronological watch for latitude or something like that. 1 second. Watch to tell latitude invented when. Might be the other one. Marine chronometer. I should have said it funny. That would have been the perfect time to say something funny. Like a marine chronometer. Not really funny, I meant stupid, but so yeah, the marine chronometer. That's the. Do you mean what I'm thinking of as a protractor? And I mean like 1 second. Compass geometry. Because I'm not talking about like a where am I? Like Chucky uses and he gets lost. Oh no, he's following a watch. Yeah. This is a compass. Isn't it? Why do I know it as a compass? The hell's wrong with me then? Hey, look, a mechanical sphincter. So, what do you know it as? A protractor? That's a protractor, man. See, even It's okay. I'm not any better at mathematics and stuff like this. Geometry was the part I did the worst at. We had to figure out a hole in a wall once. I messed it up so bad. I looked at the teacher. I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong, but what I got, the hole is bigger than the wall itself. She looked. She's like, everything you did was wrong. I'm like, probably. And she's like, well, why don't you fix anything? I'm like, because I thought I did it right. I'm like, I followed all the steps. She's like, you've got all the right steps. You've just got all the wrong numbers. I don't even know how you did that. I was never good at geometry. Even on the test, I would be staring at the page, and it's just like my mind just got all mushy. What is it, Frank? Donkey brains. That's what would happen. I'd be looking at it and just, and I'd move on to algebra. I'd move on to any other section. I would, yeah, like Alex Jones. I'm kind of retarded, right? It sucked. I hated geometry. It was the worst. Everything else I was doing really fine at. If I didn't do well in the others, there was a good chance I was not going to pass. So that's a CTK. So
what
back to this.
What horizon are you actually looking at, Globus?
Yeah, I was right.
Is it the Earth horizon? The water horizon?
I don't know what he's showing us here. This is like some more of that. See, these are angles and stuff, and I get that this has to do with, I guess, light physics. That's what I'm guessing. The sextant altitude will always be greater than the apparent altitude by the amount of the dip angle. Okay, because you're above the water, obviously, and they do kind of make this Earth not look very round. They make it look very egg-shaped. And I know we are egg-shaped,
horizontal reference plane?
Oh, my nose.
The visible horizon? How about the sensible horizon?
It sounds like he's making fun of
the
people.
Geodal horizon.
I'm not supposed to laugh at him, but he's going to laugh at me for being around Earth.
Well, it's certainly not the geometric horizon.
School's taught me everything wrong.
Earth curve? No, that was debunked by the Black Swan over 18 months ago. But now, the globe-believing zealots.
Does anybody know what he's talking about? Black Swan disproving the round Earth? Black Swan, flat Earth. What is he talking about? That's twice now. The Black Swan, evidence to flat Earth. Answers in Genesis. I don't think... Look, God said all of that happened. All of that was true. But the New Testament is also accurate. And though it never really goes into it, I feel like God walked back a lot of his statements in the New Testament. And I feel like in some roundabout way, he did the same thing with the flat Earth. I feel like he's like, well, it's not so much flat as you think it's flat. It's flat because of how friggin' big it is. Just look at it. There's just so much of this. It's got to curve it. Because again, if I'm understanding correctly, the universe in some way is flat with like I think it's a firewall. I think that from what I understand, it's only one side of it, but there's this bubble that encapsulates the universe. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out, except perhaps the big man in the sky. Spirit in the sky. That was probably a great offing in Reacher. Anyway. The Black Swan, evidence the Earth is flat. We'll read this. We'll bounce back. The modern Earth movement began with Samuel Robothman. You hear weird music. How in God's name? You know what? Maybe my schizophrenia does pass on to people. I thought it was playing music, but I don't know how to... Like, I can't hear it, so I don't know exactly what it's coming from. Because I muted... What if I do this? Nope. Okay, well, I'll just mute it there. Y'all are going to go down this road with me. If I'm going down the road of hearing things, y'all are coming with me. I'll make you feel like it at least. That the Earth is flat was his famous bet. Oh, whoops. Let's start back over. The modern flat Earth movement began with Samuel Robotham in 19th century. Robotham's primary evidence that the Earth is flat was a famous Bedford-level experiment. Robotham stationed himself 8 inches above the water at one end of the Bedford level and watched a small boat depart 6 miles. Robotham reasons that if the Earth is a sphere having 25,000 mile circumference, the bottom of the boat would have begun to be blocked by the Earth's curvature when it reached 1 mile, and that the entire boat ought to have disappeared well before reaching the end of the Bedford level 6 miles away. Since Robotham saw the boat the entire way, he concluded that the Earth is flat. As I've explained before, Robotham failed to account for atmospheric refraction. Nevertheless, many modern flat earthers have conducted similar experiments to show much the same thing that Robotham claimed he saw at the Bedford level. Current flat earthers have the advantage of using modern electronic cameras with tremendous zoom capability to document their claims. Of course, flat earthers continue to exclude the presence of atmospheric refraction, or when they acknowledge its existence, flat earthers invoke atmospheric refraction in reverse, which is what I think I was doing earlier with the whole, as you pull the sun away, it bouncing off the, it's happening with this table anyway. Oh boy, that's exactly what you want to turn around and see. You want to see a tweet that says Justin Trudeau's doubling down in Canada. Is he going to start blocking any misinformation? I'm not even spreading misinformation. I'm trying to understand another viewpoint. Oh boy. There have been numerous examples of these experiments posted on the internet. However, in late 2019, flat earthers generally began to rally what they called the Black Swan photograph. This image was taken from a video posted by a flat earther on his YouTube channel on October 25th, 2016. I don't like how they use it like it's some sort of derogatory term, just like anti-vax and all that. That's why I like sheeple. If you're going to joke and poke fun at people, that one's kind of fun. That one's light and fluffy. Actually, sheep are not light. They might be fluffy, but they're not light. Why it took flat earthers 3 years to take notice this video is not clear. Because it's YouTube, man. There's so much garbage on there. You got to seep through just to find something that actually works, that looks good, that makes sense. I mean, some poor saps can be flipping through my video before he lands on something good. Watch. Why it took flat earthers, yeah, I said that. As you can see in the photo, platform hill, okay, ocean, horizon, rising atmosphere. What is this? It's got music. That's a bad start. Most days, normal oh boy. Most days, normal visibility of platforms and boats will appear they are behind the horizon curvature of the Earth. I don't really know what that means. I kind of feel like both people on both sides of this argument are seeing things that just don't matter. 9.41 miles horizon line sea level. Okay. So the refraction is the light bouncing off the bottom of the ocean or something. Picking up. Nobody's really explained refraction to me still. I'm not a physicist. I'm an idiot with a YouTube channel. Canada's trying to crack down on us. But are both platforms built similarly? Because if they're both built similarly, this one's below the waterline and that one's above the waterline. The horizon's still off in the distance, isn't it? Or which one? Wait. They're both oil platforms. I'm not sure what they're showing. Yes. The water level. Uh-huh. So he's still on the Earth. What have you shown me? See, I'm a little confused. I don't know what's going on here either. Is he talking? It's maybe there's audio. No. Just guitars. I have an Allison, so I'm going to have to... So I don't know what's happening in this video, so I'm going to go back to this and maybe this can explain it a little better. Or maybe he can explain it a little better. Okay, first, why do flat earthers call this black swan photo? Most swans are white, so after one has examined many white swans, it is easy to reach generalization that all swans are white. Okay, not really, but yes. Such a conclusion, well, that's only true if you're trying to assume that everything in the universe has to follow strict rules. Otherwise, anomalies exist, such as what the tigers that come out completely black with black spots. So science is based we'll start back over. It's easy to reckon. I could have read that last, but I'm just going to understand this part. Where one makes conclusions in the general case based upon many specific cases, science is based the animal. That's why I said yes. I do know what you mean. I know what you mean. Don't worry. Therefore, one might formulate the statement all swans are white as a hypothesis. How does one go about testing such a hypothesis? One would continue seeking out more swans to examine. With each white swan one encounters, the more confidence one has that the hypothesis is true. What would it take to disprove this hypothesis? One need find only one swan of a different color, say black. A single black swan would disprove the hypothesis. This is why proof in science is a bit different in deductive logic and the way we normally use the word. Philosophers of science often say that in science we don't prove anything with 100% certainty, but we can disprove hypotheses with a 100% certainty. And that's... You're a perv. Out of here with that. So, yeah, this isn't going to explain very much, is it? Properly understood. Okay, the comments in the original video discussed here several times allude to atmospheric refraction, suggesting there was refraction that caused the water between him and the platforms to rise in the second photo. This is atmospheric refraction backwards. Examine the two photos carefully and notice the first photo shows much distortion in the more distant platform. The crane off its left side is bent and wavy. This is better seen around the 240. Yeah. See? But that's what I'm saying. This one's closer. That one's more off in the distance. It's suffering from that mirage effect. Things get all bent and displaced out of the way. But you still kind of see it. It's like when you're really far off and you think you see a building, but you're not entirely sure.
Tell us that...
Oh, wait. This. So there's also some compression in the more distant platform due to telltale signs of atmospheric refraction, but the second photo shows no such distortion, indicating that atmospheric refraction, which is always present, was much less the day that photo was taken. And keep in mind, by the video maker's own admission, days with little atmospheric refraction are far more common than days with great atmospheric refraction. One critic of the Flat Earth movement has done a detailed computation of atmospheric refraction on a globe Earth to explain the black swan photograph. He further showed that to produce a black swan image on a flat Earth would require conditions that are physically impossible and would not produce the observed distortions. Well, unfortunately, if this is God's Earth, it doesn't matter if we think it's possible. It is. I'm not saying it is because the Bible tells me so, but what's more interesting is a white panther. It's much more rare than its cousins. I'm talking about a flat Earth, and you're going on about colored cats? The hell, man? No, I'm kidding. No, I didn't know that they were. I thought. But what's more is white panther is much. Yeah. So then, yeah, that's what I thought. White is the more rare one. I think. I can't keep up with this flat Earth nonsense. No, I know it's kind of like sometimes there's some understanding. Like that dude who did the video of the test. He
Their
had
horizon
something.
Is refracted. It's not an actual horizon. So how do we have a tangent to a refracted horizon? When you're viewing a star on a globe, how are we measuring an angle to the horizon if it's refracted? You will never ever get an angle to a refracted horizon.
Not really, no.
This
I don't know
is
what
a
you're trying to say.
major problem if you think you live on a globe.
When you're looking at, for example, a coast from way high up, you can kind of draw a coast, right? You can look at the coast of Africa, for example, and it kind of goes like a curve, right? Okay, so the other way for you guys. So it goes like this, right? It goes like that. And then it goes like this. And everybody can basically draw Africa. Everybody can draw America. Europe, I'd say, is a little bit of a weird... But as you get closer, the coast becomes more infinite. Now, stay with me here. The Earth is so big that it begins to feel flat. And this might be kind of a weird statement to say in the midst of a flat Earth thing when neither of them really makes sense. It's a scale beyond our real human comprehension, which is why we're arguing about this so much. You can't map the coast really with any specific precision. Like you can't even... It becomes, I think they're called fractals, right? It's basically fractals. On our Earth, we have such space between everything that it gives us this illusion I can't explain it any better than these people explain their flat Earth, unfortunately, because, again, I'm not a specialist in either of these subjects. As Captain Kirk...
Today I'm going to look at Captain Kirk's so-called journey into space. Got a few clips to look at, but first we're going to let Chris Hadfield lay the template, the foundation for what we're going to see here. Right. And of course, give it all away to all of us.
He's already
who know
almost
what
lost
the game
me.
is about, and of course stand by the things that are simply true.
Okay,
and
but you got to explain what the game is about.
Is nothing but a charade, a pantomime.
I could just sit here all day and be like to you guys, well, God exists and you can't disprove it, and there's nothing. No, I got to have an actual discussion. I got to be like, well, this is why. This is what I found. This is what makes me believe it. This is why I believe in dragons. This is why I believe in aliens. Like, what are these spheres in the sky? Because there's something, and they hover there, and they do weird, bizarre shit that we can't explain. And this is why, well, hell, this is why I think the Earth is round, because of the fact that for a long time we were very inaccurate at navigation on seas because of how large this Earth is. We were only measuring, what was it, up and down, north to south, as opposed to having north and south, east and west, creating a grid-like system where we could travel around. Now, weirdly, those things seem to appear on maps that are far older than our little marine chronometer. Right? And the marine chronometer was invented in 1713, the first proper one, and he didn't even get paid for it. I don't think he was even alive to get paid. So we do need that, and that's why I'm looking at some of the stuff. Because I want to understand why they're saying this, but a lot of these guys just seem to be right off the bat, well, if you're not with us, you better understand by the end of this one. Well, I'm not going to understand by the end of this one. I hardly understand to begin with.
And Chris is going to confirm that for us indirectly here. So just have a little listen.
Telling him to absolutely revel in the experience, and to make sure he doesn't get all caught up trying to record it or something. Have fun, really absorb.
Very revealing, Chris. What? So you told Captain Kirk, William Shatner, to revel in the fun, but don't worry about capturing any of it on film.
Go and play No Man's Sky. Go play Elite Dangerous. Go play any of these space simulators and look down at even if you don't believe in a round Earth, just go look at one from space. Look down and just tell me that is not a beautiful sight to behold, whether it's computer generated or not. That is something wonderful to behold. If William Shatner got to experience going into a simulated space to look down at a simulated Earth, of course, just enjoy it.
No offense, the experience would be even better if you captured it on film so you could replay that experience time and time again, Chris. Yeah. The fact you're telling Captain Kirk not...
I might be wrong, but at the same time that they're as beautiful as they are, how often does somebody run up to you? Because you can do it. You can get like little stills from NASA. Sure, they might be. Yes, I do agree they lie to us about a lot of things. I did say specifically earlier regarding aliens and some of these more extraterrestrial things. I said the moon and Mars and all that. But has anybody ever run up to you and just been like, hey, look at this photo of the Earth? It's about as common as somebody walking up to you and saying, hey, look at this video of fireworks they took. Like, nobody's actually recording, and nobody's going to even, when they're live streaming, they're just going to record it and show it to their NASA nerd friends who gobble this stuff up anyway. The reason I do say NASA lies about aliens there was a Russian cosmonaut I think it was a year and a half ago now, or maybe 2 years ago. He had footage of something entering our atmosphere, and he's like, yeah, that's kind of weird. It was entering our atmosphere in a bizarre way, kind of thing, right? It wasn't acting like an artificial moon rock.
Not to film it, this once-in-a-lifetime experience kind of gives the game away, Chris. Dear, oh dear.
He sounds like you just caught him in like some sort of real hardcore conspiracy. So where'd they go?
Now we join the action 66 miles up, supposedly.
But where's
Please take note of that horizon there at window number 2.
I'm looking.
That horizon, bearing in mind there's 66 miles up, supposedly. That horizon should be over 120 miles below eye level. But sure enough, there it is.
But the Earth is really far below him. Maybe this might just be anecdotal evidence, but there's this thing in Valdor. It's like a tower made out of wood. It's called the Rotary Tower. La Tour Rotary, I think is what it was called. And you can climb up it. And as you go up, the things at the bottom start to look smaller and you can see the horizon. You basically will stop seeing this horizon halfway to the moon, I think it is. Past that. I might be wrong about that, but you got to fly a little more. They're not going that far. They're not taking old Bill here straight to the sun or anything. They're not taking him to Mars. Bezos doesn't have that Musk money yet, you know?
The curvature we see is optical and not physical, all right? And I'll show you again at the end of this video.
Look at the
using
clouds.
Blue Origin's test runs. But let's just have a look at this.
Where's the
propaganda
sun?
Stunt here.
That's probably behind us. Remember how they said the sun goes around the Earth? And this is looking at the back of the Earth. Like, I'm the guy who talks about aliens. I feel like I'm committing some cardinal sin here. Are they saying the sun's behind them now?
Joe Tosh.
Weightlessness. Oh, Jesus.
Carmen line.
Oh, Jesus. She's about to blow
now, on the
his
other side, the
colon,
window capsule is angled back slightly, okay? But of course, the horizon is right up there, when it should be over 120 miles below eye level, which is why we're getting a slight difference from one side of the capsule to the other. One, the horizon's higher than eye level, or appearing, and on the other side, maybe slightly lower. Of course, that's the capsule itself, slightly out of plumb, if you like.
This weightlessness.
This is nuts!
Bill, you're not playing a character, just talk. They're all laughing. He's like, where am I? What the hell did you take me to? See, I never really watched Star Trek. My favorite show with William Shatner is Shit My Dad Says.
Me. I can't believe this.
Sounds like he does sound like he's faking it, though. He does sound like he's seen this before. Wow. Where did they take me? Where are my children?
Captain Kirk comes to the realization that the Earth is level.
He's
There's
not
no
even
physical
saying
curve
anything.
whatsoever.
He's acting like he's
Hence,
going, wow, the Earth is flat.
Space-loving friend here, William
There's
Shatner,
Australia.
is blown away.
There's
We
Canada,
know there's no physical curve,
my
so
home
if he really
country,
did go up there,
where the greatest
he's come to the
streamer
realization
lives.
that the Earth isn't a
There's
ball.
Greenland.
No wonder you
I
can't
hope
believe
Trump
it,
buys
Captain.
that still.
To get you to believe in absurdities.
You're not even really supposed to have your
which of course is scientifically
phone on,
impossible anyway.
Like
We've
I've
had
never
Captain
been
at
in
the
a
window
rocket
just
ship,
now, getting
let
quite
alone like an
emotional
airplane,
and
let alone
blown
a
away
rocket
by
ship.
what he saw.
Oh.
Well, let's have a listen to the captain here as he's made
One of
his
those,
way
like,
back to Earth here.
film
Let's see
cameras,
what he's
but-
got to say.
Everybody in the world needs to do this. Everybody in the world.
Oh, this is funny. I've seen this. Isn't this where he he's telling Bezos something and Bezos just walks off? So what, Bezos is in on the whole flat Earth thing? He's secretly a fighter for the flat Earth. I turned it down a little. I just realized it was like peeking way over me.
And you're looking into blackness.
Like taking ayahuasca, you just take that, hit a little bit of crystal, you inhale that little white smoke, you let it out, and for the next 15 minutes, you're just seeing everything all over the place.
There is Mother.
There's Mother. She's talking to me.
Is there death? I don't know.
Is there death? I saw the Earth, and death was disproven. My mother, she's just gone. She walked off.
This experience is something unbelievable. You see,
I'm glad he got to do this, though.
Weightless, my stomach went up.
It is a little weird what he said about death being disproven by seeing a round Earth.
As weird as the covering of blue. This is what I never expected. Oh, it's one thing to say, oh, the sky and the thing and the
sky and that's me explaining this whole thing so far. The sky and the thing and it's all beautiful. Man, I love this. He really does sound like he's coming out of a DMT trip, though.
Depends on how you measure, because it depends on...
Captain Kirk, everybody. He's using this guy because he was Captain Kirk. I don't even know how. I know it's more than like a mile. I love how they're both like, I don't know. You got like skinny Joe Rogan here.
Maybe 50 miles.
But you're going 2,000 miles an hour. So you're
maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Whatever the mathematics is. You know, it's mysterious.
But it's the first time he's ever been that high. We're talking about a guy who's been on a stage, a sound stage his whole life, looking at green screens where they could have some cool stuff.
Was any sign of curve.
Oh, there we go. Now he's giving you some. Why is that his only compliment? Maybe he's like, maybe if I think that William Shatner looks so good, God will grant me some nice looks at that age.